Good morning, everyone. Today, this is the last class on Tintin. We had done so many things regarding the text. We had discussed so many topics. We had discussed Orientalism. We had discussed the theme of friendship. We had discussed how India has been represented. We had discussed the theme of magic and supernatural. And now, today, we will be discussing the use of nature in Tintin. You know, the use of nature here is very much symbolic in nature. Uh, the second nature means quality or features. Okay? So there will be one capital N and one with small n. So when we speak about nature, the very first thing comes at the cover. Look at this. A white snowy mountain and that also it is very steep. You can see this, and they are struggling with the footmarks of the Yeti, and we have only blue sky and white mountains which are snow clad, and some stony parts are revealed. There is no sign of any greenery apart from the dress worn by Turkey. And that is what from the very beginning we understand that from the very cover of this book we can understand that this book will involve nature as a very important part. Now, before going to the importance or the logicality of bringing nature as a motif, as a repeated theme in this novel, let us again just let me remind you about the intention of Haj. Why Remy chose to write this novel or this graphic novel in a very different angle. In the last class, I had talked about Tintin's, or rather, not Tintin's, but Haj's personal crisis. We had spoken about how, in spite of becoming a devout Christian, he was very much in dilemma with the relationship. And when he could not resist a second marriage, how he was in a moral dilemma. We had spoken about it. And practically in Tintin, what he was trying to create something like I would say in his graphic novel, he wanted someone to be saved, and there was a journey. With relation to this comes the question of morality, and you can treat this as a fable. You can treat this as a fable or a pilgrimage. I would say rather as a pilgrimage. You have heard about the famous book, The Pilgrim's Progress. So you can treat this work as a pilgrimage, where uh, reaching the man whom Tintin wants to save, uh, reaching Chang is like reaching your goal, and that goal, is your devotion. We know, we have often said that when you decide something to be your goal, yeah, Sweta, you cannot see the PDF, I know, because I am on the screen. When I will need you to see the PDF, you will be seeing. Okay. So you can understand what I am saying, that when we decide something to be very important, when we decide something to be very important, we make it our devotion to reach that goal. Even if, like, it is a success in your study, it is a success in your sport, it is a success in your extracurricular activity, you can understand. If you want success, you need devotion. And devotion. Look at the term. The term itself is very much sublime, related to spirituality, isn't it? So here, Tintin's goal is to save Chang. Harj's inner goal, inner wish is to save his soul. And you can understand that in a pilgrim's moral story, in any kind of moral story, when your struggle becomes evident, when your struggles become validated, is after several tests, isn't it? Only after several tests, your struggle is validated. You have done so many things, you have studied so many things, but without the exam and without the result, your success is not accountable. So, almost in life, also, when you reach to your devotion, you have to pass through several tests, several moral tests, and that is what nature brings in Tintin. While Haj is eager to save his soul, he is eager for a regeneration of himself. He is eager for repentation. He is eager to struggle, প্রায়শ্চিত্ত করা যেটাকে বলে, repent করা. He is ready to do that. Tintin is ready to do the same in order to save Chang. And what kind of struggle Tintin is ready to do? Any kind of barrier he is ready to cross. He is ready to cross the Himalaya even. So nature parallelly is here the symbol of test or the symbol of barriers that you need to cross to achieve your success in your life, or to reach your goal in your life, to reach your destination in your life. So it doesn't only signify that saving Chang in that Himalayan mountain will be easier, but it also parallelly shows human beings' moral endeavor towards purity, and it comes with a cost. So, while you read this graphic novel from that perspective, Tintin becomes a symbolic fable. Tintin becomes a symbolic journey of an individual towards purity, towards his goal. And here, nature comes as an agent of moral testing. So you can ask, where is the morality in Tintin? Maybe the question of morality may occur in the life of Arch, or rather Remy himself. But how can we relate the question of morality with Tintin? You know, the eagerness to save an individual, or rather to save a friend, and the readiness to do anything for that person. Is it very common in individual human beings? As per my experience, it is rare. And the continuous barriers provided by nature is like a agent of testing. Why? Because each comes and crush Tintin's tries, or rather Tintin's labors done so far, and Tintin continuously struggles to overcome and then progresses further. That means the question of retaining, keeping alive the fire that will ignite him, that will encourage him to continue with his struggle in order to help Chang. He could just return from midway, that I could no longer endure this struggle, and therefore let Chang leave on his fate. He did not do that. And that's where comes the question of morality. Tintin was from a common individual, from a friend, was practically reaching to the state of an higher individual. He was taking himself to another sublime height. And that's why it is very symbolic that at the end you can see he is given a title when the monastery people, when the llamas they find Tintin saving his friend. Look, greetings, O great heart. So now he is said to be O great heart. Okay, again, it has a political reading. Apart from being just discussing nature, let me discuss this. Let me just make uh, a point here. Let me just make a note here that it can be read from a different point of view. That again, a white people is needed to save the people of the Orient. None of his friends from the East had shown the courage, not even the Lamas. They didn't dare to go to the Horn of Yak in spite of knowing that Chang was there. They were afraid. But the white man's courage dared to face the Yeti for his friend. So again, it can be seen as hearts taking part with the white people, or somehow hearts inability to doing away with the concept of uh, Orientalist point of view. But apart from that, that is a different question. Uh, this can be another interpretation. But however, the thing is that uh, what comes out ultimately is that Tintin has a very good heart. Okay, and so here nature becomes very significant. Because at different times nature has become a wall which you have to cross. And at the very moment, Tintin was when you have a great moral story, look how it works as a fable. Yeah, it works as a fable, or rather, it works as a story of heroism, a story of great achievements. When you read this type of story, at the very beginning, uh, the hero, or the man who is destined to achieve something, he receives a great training. Like look at Ramayana. We know that, or like look at Mahabharata. We know that Rama or the Pandavas, they had to fight great battles at the end, and that's why we see that at their childhood they were trained. They were trained in ammunitions. And look at what that this graphic novel begins with. Okay, look, what a glorious holiday! Oh, snowy. Call this holiday scrambling over jagged rocks from morning till night. All right for him with his heavy climbing boot, but if this goes on, I will have no pause left. So look, he was already climbing. He was already having a practice to confront nature. So what will you say? Look how technically right uh, Harsh was while he was writing a story of achievement, writing a story of great success. Tintin was preparing himself without knowing. And like in every great story, it happens. No one is aware that he has to do that much struggle in later life, but somehow he is trained. Okay, so this is a very interesting beginning for the novel. Next, I would go where nature comes. Okay, let me see. Like, look, each and every whenever Tintin asks about Chang and the place, if he can take a journey there, each and everyone resists. Like in every great story happens before the hero takes a limb for the success. Everyone warns him that your path is not going to be very lucid. Your path is not going to be a floral way. It will come with the cost. The success will come with the cost. It will be a thorny journey for them. So you can see the same thing, and then suddenly here also we find where Snowy falls in the river. There also it was very much strugglesome for Tintin to save him. This part comes, the rocky mountain, the sleek roads. They have to cross this. Okay, and then comes the snowy mountain, the Yeti, Tintin falling into the cave, into the snow cave, struggling, but everything could not resist him, even not the snowstorm. Okay, at one place, even they were dying. Tintin was dying in the snowstorm, but nothing could resist him. As if each and every challenge was for him a step, and when he could cross that, it never dismantled him. Rather, it encouraged his will to go farther and farther. That means nature is not only becoming a testing agent, but each and every barrier that nature is providing in front of this Tintin, he is taking itself positively, like it is a kind of a step that he will climb and he will go closer, he will reach closer to his success. Okay, and then the final blow was the avalanche, the avalanche that came while they were reaching towards the monastery. Okay, even there he almost died. Only luck saved him, only snowy his courage saved him. Okay, and then he directly confronted with nature when he confronted with the Yeti. Okay, this is the final step, and I must see that I can do it. Whatever it takes. I cannot, if I have to directly confront, Yeti is also a natural legend. I would not only say the snowfall, the snowstorm, the snowy mountain, the steep rocks, the avalanche. Not only these, but also the Yeti is also an agent of nature whom Tintin has to face. It is the final blow. All the previous things were rather, I would say, mm, non-living aspect of nature, whereas this Yeti thing is a living aspect of nature. And now Tintin had courage enough to confront even that. Uh, though I would say Captain Haddock at some places resisted him, but ultimately till the end he also accompanied Tintin. So therefore, we can not only say that Tintin was the only one who was reaching a moral height, who was reaching to the level of sublime, who was trying to reach his goal. But I also say that the struggle of Haydock was almost same, but Haydock's goal was not that. The only difference was in the goal. Haydock's only goal was saving Tintin, or rather accompanying Tintin. Whereas Tintin's goal was saving someone in struggle, saving this. Uh, I would say that this significance of the end they want to reach makes the difference between Haddock and Tintin. And for me, keeps Tintin a bit higher than Haddock. Okay, um, and that's where Tintin becomes more significant here. His courage becomes more significant because although Haddock want to dissuade him, although Haddock want to return, Tintin never have this. Tintin never even expresses any kind of eagerness for returning. Okay, that's where Haydock becomes a bit less shinier than Tintin. Okay, but both of them they struggle to save the life of another person, Chang. Hmm. Even you can say that Haddock was not directly related to Chang. That's why Haddock's primary concern would be Tintin. That is very well noted. But throughout their struggle, the part that nature plays is that of the testing agent and the wall uh, which ultimately confirms, or the crossing of which ultimately confirms a sublime elevation towards destination. Okay, so this is I think what we needed to talk about nature. So this is the concept of nature that I would be talking about. So this is all for Tintin. And now it is your turn. One by one, open up your mic and ask anything. This is all I had to say. Ask anything regarding this book. I hope you have understood how nature or the theme of nature becomes very important in Tintin. Have you? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one by one, if you need
Yes, sir.
need to ask any question, please ask. Please ask one by one. Anyone, anything you need to clarify or any need to ask regarding this text, you may ask. Please. একটুখানি.
হ্যালো
হ্যাঁ, হ্যালো.
স্যার। স্যার আমি বলছি কি আমি এই নেচার থেকে পার্ট অফ নেচার আই ক্যান আস্ক এনি আদার কোশ্চেন।
হ্যাঁ, 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 বল না। তো আমি তো বললাম যে টেক্সটটা নিয়েই যা কোয়েশ্চেন সেটা বল।
ইয়েস স্যার। স্যার আমাকে ওই লোকেশন গুলো মানে লোকেশন গুলোতে একটু প্রবলেম হচ্ছিল স্যার
লোকেশন
টিনটিনে।
গুলো মানে?
স্যার মানে কি যেমন চ্যাং ওয়াজ গোয়িং টু কাঠমান্ডু ফর ফ্রম কলকাতা, হাউ দ্য প্লেন ক্র্যাশড ইন তিব্বত স্যার।
Chang was going to Kathmandu from Kolkata.
ইয়েস স্যার।
এটা তোকে কে বললো?
স্যার আমি যখন স্টোরিটা পড়ছিলাম তোর স্যার তখন দেখলাম স্যার।
Look, Wednesday, the DC-3 missing since Monday on a flight from Patna to Kathmandu is reported to have crashed in the Gosai Thang. So you can understand.
এটা
এটা কিন্তু কলকাতা থেকে যাচ্ছিল না, এটা যাচ্ছিল পাটনা থেকে নেপাল।
স্যার প্লেনটা পাটনা থেকে নেপাল যাচ্ছিল কিন্তু চ্যাং তো কলকাতা থেকে চেপেছিল স্যার আই থিংক।
হ্যাঁ, আর কলকাতা থেকে নেপাল যখন যাচ্ছে, তো ইউ ক্যান আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড। এখানে দাঁড়া, আর একটা জায়গায় আছে, কোথায় আছে, দাঁড়া দাঁড়া দাঁড়া। The brother of my most vulnerable adopted father, I didn't know that John had a brother. Okay, the brother of my most honorable adoptive father is living in London while he is in antique shop. He has generously invited me to stay with him. Although unworthy of such an invitation, tomorrow I leave Hong Kong by air. I am filled with pleasure that I shall see you once again. He is coming. Good. Okay. Yes, fine. But I say this Chang, he is not like that little monster Abdullah. I said, Chang, why? Okay, so let me tell you one thing. Debate. This debate is not the Tibet you understand. You know, Tibet
Yes,
is a large country. One part of it is just outside Ladakh, whereas the other side is in the Nepal Bhutan border. Okay, so at that part of the Tibet, the plane crashed. Maybe it was going to Kathmandu straight while it was crossing the mountain. It had any problem, and that's why it had missed its route and it crashed in Tibet. Okay, or rather, the Tibetan part that was very close to Nepal border. বুঝা গেল?
yes.
Okay, any other question?
জার্নিটা স্যার এইটা রিয়েলিটি আছে না স্যার ফিকশনাল জার্নি আছে?
কোনটা?
এই ক্র্যাশটা প্লেন ক্র্যাশটা এটা ফিকশনাল আছে স্যার ইয়া রিয়েলিটি?
রিয়েলিটি মানে? মানে
স্যার মানে
জাস্ট
এই যে ক্র্যাশ হয়েছিল প্লেনটা,
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ তো
কোশ্চেন থ্যাংক।
এই 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 জায়গাগুলো প্রত্যেকটাই ফিকশনাল। ওকে, প্রত্যেকটাই ফিকশনাল। আর এনিথিং? এনিওয়ান এলস? এনি
ইয়েস,
কোয়েশ্চেন?
ইয়েস স্যার আরেকটা ছিল স্যার।
हाँ
सर
बोल।
एक आगे पिछला क्लास में सर जो आप बताए थे,
हाँ
ये टेक्सचुअलाइज किए थे महाभारत से इसके
हाँ
टेलीपैथी को सर।
हाँ।
सर तो बता रहे थे कि वो द्रौपदी और द्रौपदी का जब चीरहरण हो रहा था तो वो जब कृष्ण भगवान को याद की थी तो वो भी तो एक टेलीपैथी का एग्जाम्पल हो सकता है सर इसमें।
हाँ maybe because Krishna responded, so obviously it's an example of telepathy. Okay,
यस,
okay. আর কিছু বলার আছে তো?
यस सर एग्जैक्टली सर।
हाँ
सर सर একটা কোশ্চেন আর ছিল স্যার।
हाँ
স্যার এই
बोल
যে
ना।
ইতি ইতি স্যার আছে
हाँ
স্যার, ইতি के যে লাস্টে যে সিম্প্যাথি
अच्छा,
আমাদের
one thing you do, one thing you do. Why don't you people just try to ask your question in English, because you were doing it in English on this class.
यस,
Try and speak up in English. Whatever, it may be wrong, but just speak up.
ओके सर। when we see when we see sir yeti in the last scene we sympathy arises in our mind sir.
Mhm.
Sir, sir, can we compare this sympathy, this Yeti to the Yeti of Chota Bhim, sir?
You know, while you read a serious book, while you read Tintin like serious book, I haven't read the Yeti in Chota Bheem. You know, I do not know how it is represented there. If you have anything, but moreover, Chota Bheem is not literature. So I do not think you will in your exam hall you will be able to take this comparison at all. It is better to leave that apart. Okay, and I haven't seen the Chota Bheem Yeti, which is related to Yeti, and that's why it will be problematic for me to answer that. Okay, I haven't
Sir,
seen,
where
so that's why I can't say anything else.
no, not no.
Not now. Okay, whenever you have any question, you just ask. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay, and now Ananya. Uh,
Sir,
huh?
how was nature changing in nature টা কিভাবে চেঞ্জিং হচ্ছে স্যার এখানে? স্যার
How
দেখালেন যেমন
was?
নেচার চেঞ্জিং,
Huh?
স্যার নেচার এখানে কিভাবে চেঞ্জিং হচ্ছে?
ক্লিয়ার আসছে না বাবু? ক্যান ইউ জাস্ট টাইপ ইউর কোয়েশ্চেন ইন দ্য চ্যাট বক্স?
হাউ ওয়াজ নেচার চেঞ্জিং সেখানে বললেন না দু রকম নেচার আছে, তো নেচারটা কিভাবে চেঞ্জিং হচ্ছে দেখলাম তো একটু টিনটিন স্যার পাওয়ারটা।
দুরকম নেচার বলিনি। I said that there are two nature means nature, nature, that is the natural nature, and one with capital N, that is the human nature. Okay, so দুটো nature কে এক জায়গায় লিখে parallelly চলতে হবে. While nature has been coming as an agent of tasting, what it is tasting? It is tasting the human nature. So one nature is tasting another nature. Okay, okay. Next, anything more?
স্যার,
Huh?
স্যার
Okay,
বলছি যে
okay, let me first. Are you Ananya speaking?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
Okay, now tell me. I was just going to answer your question. Tintin magic use করা হচ্ছে. So let me tell you. You just go and see the link of the last class. You will have everything regarding magic there. ক্লাসটা শুনে নেওয়ার পর যদি আর কোনো কোয়েশ্চেন থাকে, then you may ask me because অনলাইন ক্লাসে শুধু শুধু রিপিট করে লাভ নেই। ঠিক আছে, you
স্যার
just go.
এখানে শুধু হোয়াইট ম্যাজিকটাই, মানে যে ম্যাজিক গুলো যেটা কথা বলা হয়েছে সেটা শুধু
Try
হোয়াইট
to ask
ম্যাজিক।
it in English. This is an English honors class. Try to ask it in English. Make it a practice. Okay. It
ওকে
is
স্যার।
informal class, so therefore just let us try. Na, it is informally we are just chatting over a text. So therefore just try. It will help you. Just try.
ওকে
Let it
স্যার।
be wrong English, but just give it a try.
স্যার ইন টিনটিন স্টোরি
Uh,
উই used only white magic, sir.
uh, Here I will say in this Tintin in Tibet, I just want to say you that while you read this magic concept, you read also the book Figure of the Pharaoh. The second part of it takes place in India. There, whatever the magic happens, it has been termed as black magic because it is going against the white people. It is going against the English, it is going against the colonizers, it is going against Tintin as well. So therefore, naturally, from the point of view of a hero, the villain's magic is called the black magic. But very differently, we can understand that there, not all the villainers we can say were rather bad people because they were protesting the colonizers' control over their kingdom, and that's why they were in general they were targeted as drug peddlers, black magic users. So that goes in that way. But here comparison to that, when India is no more a colonized country, India is almost uh, becoming friendly with the European countries, especially those who were in their support. So now suddenly the approach that Hurd showed towards India, it changed, and not only towards India but also towards the Orient. And here the magic is used in order to help India to achieve something. So while nature was, the thing is that while nature was continuously placing herself as a moral agent of testing Tintin's morality, you can look the telepathy that Tintin found, the Chang is calling him, and then that Lama who found or who was continuously seeing prophecies, who could elevate himself. These were a very specific thing you can see in these things where these were not achieved through chanting. These were not achieved through rituals. These are not ritualistic men. Whereas in the earlier book, I mentioned about the black magic, the rope trick, which was done by the Indian, it was a ritualistic magic. That is, you need to chant some mantras, you need to move your hand and body in such a way, then only the magic happens. It is the tantric magic you call. Whereas, if you look at here in this place, all these things come, although they seem supernatural, but they are not ritualistic. That means, in another sense, you can say that nature was practically giving an input of some extra power, extra sense in these people. And therefore, these were, in a sense, quote unquote, natural beyond our explanation. That is supernatural, isn't it? So these were not rituals. So even you can see that nature himself was testing Tintin, sorry, herself. On the other hand, nature was sending people or helping people with supernatural prophecy in order to help Tintin. So nature was taking this part also. And here, because I have given a very simple calculation. Because and in that book, the magic was used uh, against the hero, it was black magic. And here it is used in order to help the hero. And therefore, it often seems that it is not the dark magic, rather, it is the white magic. It is the white in the sense, not color, but white in the sense vice and virtue, where darkness symbolizes vice and white symbolizes virtue. Okay, I hope you have understood, Ananya.
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ওকে স্যার, ইয়েস
এবার বুঝতে বুঝতে পেরেছিস তো জিনিসটা, যে
হ্যাঁ
খুব
স্যার ভালোভাবে বুঝতে পেরে গেছি।
সোজা হিসেবে দেখবি, খুব কঠিন করে দেখবি না। ওখানে it is used against the hero and here it is used to help the hero. So therefore খুব সোজাসুজি মনে হচ্ছে ওখানে ম্যাজিকটা it is becoming the bad use of magic and here এখানে বইটা পড়ে মনে হচ্ছে it is the good use of magic. বোঝা গেল?
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
But you cannot really so easily just claim that this one is the black magic, this one is the white magic. I also explained the politics behind that, isn't it? There is a politics.
হ্যাঁ
Okay, Akash, one more thing. When Chang wants to go to Kathmandu to pay his respect to his honorable cousin, why he came to India? However, he could directly go to Nepal from China. Dear Akash Thakur, let me tell you, you cannot decide, or I cannot decide where one will go and where one will not go. That is ultimately decided by the Creator Himself, and here, in case it is Harsh, and He is no more, therefore, we cannot ask Him. And another thing is that even nowadays, you cannot go from Kolkata to London directly. You have to just go to Mumbai first, and from there you have to take a flight to London. So you can understand. Even you cannot go to any African country. Before going to any African country, you have to give a halt in Europe. So you can understand that although there is no traffic on the air, it doesn't seem from down below here that there is no traffic in the air. There is traffic in the air. এরোপ্লেনেও জ্যাম হয়, ঠিক আছে, এটা মাথায় রাখতে হবে। আকাশেও জ্যাম হয়, একটু নেটে সার্চ করলে দেখতে পাবে এরোপ্লেনেরও নির্দিষ্ট ট্রাফিক আছে, নির্দিষ্ট রুট আছে। সো এনি প্রত্যেকটা কান্ট্রির it has, each and every country has some foreign policy, and as a result of that, some countries are not directly connected to others. So that's why while from Kathmandu, sorry, while from China he had to go to Kathmandu, he had to come to India at first. Okay, and then from there he had to board the plane for Kathmandu. Now you understand, Akash?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Now you
Yes, sir.
understand?
Yes.
Okay. Keep in mind, all the countries are not connected to each other. Okay, by flight. Huh? Like you
Okay.
cannot go to London directly from Kolkata. এই এক মাস আগে অব্দি ফ্লাইট ছিল, বাট লাস্ট উইক থেকে নিয়ম করে দিয়েছে ফার্স্ট ইউ হ্যাভ টু গো টু মুম্বাই and from there you have to go to or you have to board another flight to London. Okay, so এর আগে, এখন তো তাও ডাইরেক্ট ফ্লাইট অনেক জায়গায় আছে, বাট আগে তাও ছিল না। লকডাউনে ফ্লাইট অনেক কমছে, দ্যাটস ওয়াই আরো ব্রেক করে দেওয়া হচ্ছে জায়গাগুলো। ডাইরেক্টলি এক এক জায়গায় যাওয়া আর যাচ্ছে না। বোঝা গেল? ওকে, আর
ओके
কেউ বাবু, এনি কোয়েশ্চেন? ইউ ক্যান আইদার টাইপ অর ইউ ক্যান ডিরেক্টলি আস্ক, প্লিজ, আই এম ওয়েটিং। এনিথিং, এনিওয়ান? নো? কেউ নেই তো আর কোয়েশ্চেন? জাস্ট let me know. So I hope this is all for today, and I hope all your queries regarding this book are solved. কিরে, একটু এবার সবাই মাইক গুলো অন করে একটু কোঅপারেট করো বাবা। So I hope everything has been solved. Okay, so I'm stopping my presentation, and so this is all for today. আজকের ক্লাসটা একটু ছোট হলো, ঠিক আছে, কারণ আমাদের ইয়েটা ছিল, বাকিটা হয়ে গেছিল। So this is all for today. Next class we will be doing purloined letter, but before that we will be uh, reading, or we will be knowing several things about the interesting life of Edgar Allan Poe, and obviously of his death. Okay, it was a very interesting thing. Edgar Allan Poe's death was very interesting. So if you really want to know, or if you are really interested, just go and search in internet regarding Edgar Allan Poe's death. It's so mysterious. He has, for throughout his life, he has offered us with several mysteries, several mysterious stories. And it is said that he is the father of detective writing also. But okay, by next class, we will be knowing about Poe. It will be a very interesting class. So it's all for today. Okay, so
Sir,
open up your, huh? Follow.
where in Calcutta referred? I couldn't find it. He started his journey from New Delhi, then Kathmandu, then Tibet. Where
Yeah.
is Kolkata? I just
আই
confused.
আই থিঙ্ক ইউ মিসড ইট। ও নিজেও কলকাতা বলতে চায়নি, সেই জন্য বারবার ও ওই ইন্ডিয়া কথাটা লিখেছে ওর কাছে। সেই জন্য আমি ব্যাপারটাকে আর বেশি নাড়াঘাটা করলাম না। ও ইন্ডিয়া ব্যাপারটা লিখেছে, সো মানে ও ব্যাপারটা ধরতে পারেনি। হি হ্যাজ নেভার বিন টু কলকাতা, হি হ্যাজ বিন
Yes,
টু দিল্লি পসিবল, ঠিক
yes,
আছে।
sir.
দ্যাটস ওয়াই ও যে কোয়েশ্চেনটা লিখেছে এখানে, তাতে ও বারবার ইন্ডিয়াটা লিখে দিয়েছে বলে আমি আর ওটা নিয়ে কোনো কথাই বলিনি। এন্ড দ্যাটস ওয়াই আই হ্যাড সেড যে আমিও যখন এক্সপ্লেন করলাম, আমিও দেখবি কলকাতা ব্যাপারটা বলা অ্যাভয়েড করেছি, আমি
Yes,
বললাম ওকে
sir.
ইন্ডিয়ায় আসতে হয়েছে, ঠিক আছে।
Yes, sir.
ওকে, চলো, ঠিক আছে, তাহলে আজকে এই অবধি থাক। আই হোপ এভরিওয়ান হ্যাজ এনজয়েড দ্য ক্লাস। যেগুলো কোয়েরি ছিল সেগুলো ঠিকঠাক হয়েছে তোমাদের। সো দিস ইজ অল অ্যাবাউট টিনটিন। আচ্ছা।
सर बट